The slow-motion catastrophe known as the downfall of American retail never seems to end. While many brands have invested decades developing their companies, attracting a clientele, purchasing real estate, and honing their goods to become well-known household names, the emergence of e-commerce completely altered the game. In just a few years, everything companies believed they knew was challenged as they scrambled to adjust to a new marketplace that moved much more quickly, was more acute, and offered significantly more options. The aftermath of the financial crisis resulted in multiple rounds of mass layoffs and store closings, which put many businesses on very shaky ground. Many long-standing retailers on our terrain had their journeys cut short by the stock market instability that followed. Over 9,000 stores closed permanently in 2017, the year that is typically considered the beginning of this entire process. However, the truth is that this problem hadn't really started until the industry's breaking point, which was almost 15 years ago. Since then, tens of thousands of well-known companies have gone out of business and filed for bankruptcy. Shopping malls are facing the threat of extinction for the first time in history. One thing that all retail experts agree on is the fact that the failure of so many great companies cannot be fully explained by the development of online shopping platforms or the financial turmoil that characterized this time period. The continuous erosion of the American middle class has become one of the most noteworthy trends fueling the disappearance of retailers virtually overnight. According to estimates, middle-class Americans in the United States have lost around 35% of their purchasing power since the year 2000, with 5% of the loss occurring in the past 2 years. Almost 22 million employees have left the middle class. Considering that although salaries remained flat, the cost of living climbed approximately 4 times in only the last 10 years. Of course, the pandemic's sudden arrival did the retail sector considerably more harm. In fact, companies in all categories experienced declining revenue over this Christmas season for the first time in nearly 14 years. As we approach another economic downturn, there will be a lot more things to follow. Nonetheless, we've made the decision to compile 10 interesting facts regarding the downfall of American retail that many of you may not be aware of. Before continuing, we respectfully request that you support our efforts by subscribing to our channel so that you won't miss any of our next videos. Here are the 10 mind-blowing facts about the downfall of American retail. Number 1. As more and more brands shift their operations to e-commerce platforms, the number of shopping malls in the U.S. will decrease from 1,200 to 500 over the next 15 years. Number 2. The number of people visiting malls has decreased by 63% in the last 3 years, and it's been declining ever since. Number 3. The United States currently has over 1 billion square feet of unoccupied retail space on city streets and in shopping centers following 5 years of widespread retail business closures. Bloomberg estimates show a 5-fold rise in the number of idle retailers at shopping complexes since 2017. Number 4. According to Bloomberg analysts, another 1 billion square feet, or 10% of all retail property in the United States, may need to be shuttered, transformed, or renegotiated by 2024 as a result of major retailers' massive real estate debt, which is estimated to be worth around $5 trillion. Number 5. By mid-2024, Credit Suisse anticipates that over 8,600 retail sites will permanently close, while experts at UBS predict an even bleaker future for retailers. In the best-case scenario, 50,000 shops may close by 2026. According to the company, if a major recession occurs in 2023, that number may increase to 80,000 sites. Number 6. Retailers generally bring on more staff around the holidays to handle the escalating demand. However, several businesses decided to impose employment restrictions as a result of this year's poor Christmas outlook. Compared to a year ago when supply chains were operating at full capacity and stimulus money was still entering people's accounts, there are currently 145,000 fewer workers employed in the retail industry. Number 7. Since 2016, the rate of retail layoffs has been increasing. When compared to the same period last year, when stores were frantically gearing up for the 2021 holiday season, Just approximately 1,000 retail workers were laid off, and 13,000 employees lost their jobs in the retail business between September and October of 2022. This is a staggering 92% increase. Number 8. According to the professional services company BDO USA, 18 different large retailers filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the first quarter of 2022. At least 7 of them were applying for the second time since 2020, according to the study. Number 9. According to MarketWatch specialists, general merchandise retailers cut close to 16,000 jobs in the past year, while department stores cut close to 30,000 jobs. All of it may be attributed to a drop in consumer purchasing power of approximately 4%, inflated inventories, and growing profit losses. Sale of discretionary items have really been down for 10 months in a row, and industry CEOs are warning that the flood of job cuts has only just begun. Number 10. Retailers experienced sales contracting in November for the first time since the financial crisis, despite promotional activities like Black Friday and heavy discounts, a clear indication that Americans are prepared to make sacrifices in order to deal with the upcoming financial issues. Businesses are experiencing the tightest lending conditions in decades, and consumers are cutting back on their spending as huge layoffs are reported on a weekly basis. A string of disappointing corporate earnings results is likely to follow given the increase in living expenditures. There's little doubt that 2023 will be a pivotal year for retail, with more reports of shop closures and bankruptcy filings expected to surface. Many businesses that are already struggling could not even make it through the next year, let alone another recession. We should all start going to our favorite stores soon before the situation worsens and they're forced to close forever. Even industry titans like Walmart and Amazon suddenly close hundreds of stores in 2022. The industry's issues only worsen with time. The middle class in the United States is also set to face major challenges, which is a significant element to emphasize. Unexpected job losses may upend the lives of millions of Americans, just as it did during the epidemic, as rising energy, food, and petrol prices aren't going to slow down anytime soon. While the cost of all the products we regularly require keeps rising beyond our means, we will continue to experience a decline in the worth of our money. Most people are already aware that this is a new reality and that it will stay with us for a while. Only 35% of all Americans, according to a new study, think that their financial situation has improved from a year ago. Only 28% of Americans overall feel that the country is headed in the right direction, according to a new NBC News and Wall Street Journal survey. Additionally, according to recent data, 69% of Americans are already having trouble paying their food bills, and 2/3 of Americans want to reduce their spending in 2023. Sadly, things will only grow more difficult in the months to come. We are all set to confront a very complicated problem. Retailers will continue to experience pressure on all fronts. All Americans will be affected when the next great wave of retail closures finally materializes, which is arriving quickly. We really hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, don't forget to switch on the notification bell to know when our next video will be posted.